And dreams we sow, inspiration like the morning glow. Action sparked by a word so true. Transformation starts with what you do. Leaders speak and leaders guide, reshaping worlds from deep inside. Oh, TammyRenee, she's on the mic, sharing tales that'll change your life. Wave of change, leaders arise. Together we will
come on in to the wave of change, where I am interviewing leaders who inspire action, sharing stories, giving tips, and dropping those gems. Come make some waves with us. Like, share, comment, and ask a question if you dare. If you are catching this replay, you know what to do. Hit hashtag replay. My name is TammyRenee, your visionary life strategist, and I am here to help you take action and make change in your life. Today, we are talking about living out your why with grace. Drop some waves in the comments and let's welcome LaSha Marie, leadership speaker, author, HR consultant, and visionary. Yes.
Hello.
How are you today?
I'm doing good. Hey there, TammyRenee.
Yes. Hey there. Happy New Year's. Happy 2025.
2025. I'm so glad to be with you. I know it's a long time coming. I see you doing amazing work on there. And I said, 2025, I'm doing more guest appearances and stuff like that. Hey, this is how we get seen. I tell people all the time, share your message, share your brand.
Yes, you have to be seen, right? Because as an introvert myself, I've been so quiet and scared, not really scared to be seen, but really scared to be seen, trying to show up for myself.
Yeah.
And it hasn't been working. So, I'm doing the same thing, making more appearances, sharing my message more, and just being me, right?
But the wonderful thing is that you have this podcast. So you are showing up. You understand the gift and talent that you got.
I do.
It's a personal, it's that development that we do. And sometimes we don't give each other credit. And so I have to stop people when they say that, because you're doing it.
Right.
You're doing it. And you're perfecting, and we get better, after time. This is a work to have a podcast and multiple things, and you're doing, girl, it's a lot.
It is a lot. It is a lot. And the more you practice, like you said, the easier it becomes, and then you just keep elevating, right?
That's
keep
true.
Elevating. So, I have this interesting thing. Since our talk is about grace, can you tell me, what does being in your grace means? After you tell me who you are, what you do, and a little bit about your business.
Okay. All right. So, of course, I'm LaSha Marie. People call me the Audacity Enforcer. I am a two-time best-selling author, speaker, executive career coach, host of Hello Audacity Podcast, and the founder of Women of Audacity. I empower and highlight others to share their brand or story while creating a platform to increase your wealth and provide mind and wellness products to help you soar.
Okay.
So that's why I am out of Atlanta, and largely what I do is I love creating wellness products, whether it's a planner, a book, a devotional, ebook. I am the curator of the Dream Big Vision Pillow. We're talking about visions. We're talking about goals. This is the dream. This is one of the big ones. This is the 16 by 16. It is the newest concept to vision boarding. A lot of people are doing vision boards now. I love a vision board. They if you're working it definitely will work. And you actually chart out and obtain some of the things that you have for your life mapping. So I created this, but this is a vision board is good. I like this as a personal accountability partner. Like if I go, whenever I go on stages, this comes with me. It gives me reminders, all of that. Had a mammogram I was scared for. I had to kind of bring this with me because I have my favorite scriptures on there and stuff like that. So I love creating products. I love speaking in front of individuals that are hungry for more.
Right?
You have a birthright. And so let's pull out some of the things you need in order for you to be, unstoppable.
Yes. And I love those vision pillows that you create because I found out about them close to the end of last year and I saw them and I was like, oh my God, this is so unique.
Yeah.
It's so it's a lot of emotions tied to it. I feel like more so than just cutting and pasting things.
Exactly. And it's good for us to have pretty, aesthetically correct boards. But what we're going to get into are the things that's needed in order for you to facilitate and
Yes.
achieve all of those things that you put on your board.
Right.
Okay.
Right. So tell me, what does it mean to be in grace for you?
Oh my God. For me, because I have, of course, we all have a mighty story, and a part of sharing our brand is sharing our story. I had a lot of things happen to me as a child. I endured a lot of things, suffered in many ways when I got to adulthood. I mean, most of you guys have went through depression or postpartum or abuse or, being a victim of molestation, all of those things, anything that kind of hinders you from really thinking about your not only your future, but it actually affects your behavior, how you think about you. You don't think good about yourself, then how are you supposed to feel good about the gift and the talent that God has given you? So I went through a lot of things in my childhood, and I said, you know what? I needed to start at a place which gave me an even a playing field. And sometimes our mind, when we think about ourselves, when we speak about ourselves, when we say things to back up the talent and the gift, sometimes it doesn't come across so positive. Sometimes we're working with the inner demons and the inner garbage that we tell ourselves. So I had to correct that, but I had to first allow myself some grace to get past, to get over, to heal, to transform, to really think about the mindset that I had and also the mindset that I want. That means that I'm a winner. That means that I have a right. That means that something that I have, someone out there needs.
That's right. That's right. So, what I get from that, grace is being in that space of empowerment.
It is.
Grace is being in that space that elevates you. It
Mm-hmm.
raises your energy in a positive way.
Right. I always tell people, God, if it wasn't for God's grace over my life, I always tell people that I don't know where I would be. And part of you figuring out life, wherever you are, you have to make sure that you're not beating yourself up for things that we didn't do. You're not beating yourself up for having this perfect image that we tend to see online that's not really perfect. If we can rewrite some of those things and say that's not perfect, but if I can move forward even in my stumbles, if I can move forward even in not knowing, it
Right.
always gets better with time, and you got to give yourself grace because you got it. You
That's
have
right.
it.
That's right. And I do, like you said, when you were taking those actions and we're coming up against the struggles, the stumbles, I take those with grace because I
Oh,
believe we all have to go through them to get to the next level. And
oh,
it's learning the lessons through it that makes you stronger.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
It took me a little while for me to understand that concept. I couldn't be who I was if I didn't go through what I went through.
Mm-hmm.
And that means 100%. And this is why I'm so glad that I've been able to excel my life and reach certain goal levels and even soar past even the limits that I put on myself. I had to kind of think about it and say, you know what? You have to really hone in to what your purpose is.
Mhm.
What are we really trying to achieve? This happened. That's fine. You can't change that. I
Mhm.
to this at this point of life do not have any regrets that I went through
Right. Oh
because
my gosh. I
I could
love it. I
not
love it.
be where I am if that's the case. Even the
Right.
person that destroyed my heart, it may have been a horrible relationship. I may have given my all. I may have even, and this is true, ended up on the 5150 hole in a behavioral facility. But honey, it did not stop me. You can repair it. And I had to understand even that prepared me for what I have right now.
Right.
So it is good that I can look at it without look at that relationship without saying being bitter,
Mhm.
without having having regrets, without having being disgruntled or having hatred.
Mhm.
I deal with all of the steps of grieving.
Right. You got to go through it before you get to the other end. And I love
Exactly.
the fact that you said that how all your past have made you who you are today. But in a sense, I want people to realize that all your past has made you how strong you are today, but that does not define who you are today.
Right.
Because
Right.
people want to live in that past. Well, I was abused, so I'm always going to be a victim. Well, no, you're not.
Yeah.
You abused because maybe you're supposed to go out there and teach someone else how to not be abused or
Right.
recognize the signs of not being abused. So,
Yeah.
yes, it does. Our past, I'm just like you. I have no regrets on my past because I know if it wasn't for my past, I wouldn't be who I am today. And don't get that mistaken by we are who we were in our past. You
Right.
know?
That's so. And you mentioned strength. I know a lot of people looking at this talking about, look, ladies, I hear y'all, but I'm tired of being strong. Honey, like did I cancel? I thought I canceled my subscription in 2024. We're not talking about being strong in 2025, but we have to continue that because what life does is keep going, and life
Right.
is going to keep challenging you. And even as you check off all of these goals, all these visions and aspirations, and you have letters and money and possessions and that man or a wife, life is still going to be challenging. It may be a different kind of hard, but it's still
Mhm.
going to be hard.
Right. And I like the fact that you said that, people are watching this and being like, ladies, I am tired of being strong. So tell me, how do you keep pursuing that vision? Drop some gems for the people to keep that focus to pursue that vision because it is important to keep going.
I can't I can't achieve my vision until I understand my why and I have faith in my why.
Mhm.
So I think that's the first part, is that for me, I had to understand, where does my motivation come from?
Mhm.
Even in my classes, you don't just get a pretty pillow. There's no. We we dissect some things. We start from the very beginning of this thing.
Wow.
Let's go ahead. If you don't have a plan, you don't have nothing, honey. And that plan
Mhm.
says, okay, I'm gonna sit down. I'm gonna write a plan. I got my visions. I got my aspirations. But what is fueling you to get that? It's more than the 90-day notice. It's more than you clocking in at a 40-hour a week job that you can't stand. It's more than that. You have to think about what's motivating you. And a lot of people don't understand what motivates us the most is our children. It's a deep connection that says, I want to live a legacy. I want to live beyond. I want to have or achieve more than my parents. You have to really, you want to get some things done. You want to achieve some things. Think about your why.
Right.
And then light a fire under your tail and get to it.
Girl, you sounded good to me. And not just settling for what life is dishing up to you.
Yeah.
Yes, not just settling for that, because I did the same thing. I had to go back and look at what motivates me. And once I did that work and did my deep personal growth work and addressed all those trauma things, so much more was born that I can even imagine. And that's what happens when we remove those things that are holding us back.
Oh my
we
goodness.
are opening up for what is possible.
Yes,
I love it.
I always tell people, when you really want to hone into what do you have to give this world, and what can I produce, and how can I be an impact, you have to sit down and say, what means the most to me. A lot of people, if your response is, oh, I want to do that because of the money, most likely you're gonna run into a very sad reality if you do that. If you just focus on the money and the likes and the shares and the influence, then that will keep you where you are. Your credibility has to be built in the talent and the gift that you have.
Right.
And so so I always tell people to start with your why and then make a plan.
Right.
You
and
have
it
to
doesn't happen overnight like most of us wants to. I don't know about you, but I've been building my business, the same business, for almost 4 years now.
Yeah.
And you have to have that foundation, because if you jump into it, it's all going to fall apart, or someone's going to take advantage, or you're not even going to know what to do when a challenge comes, right?
Exactly.
So it's not giving up on those steps that take you from your why to your vision to reality. And how long has it taken you? I mean, give the people.
Oh my God, I was just about to say, if anyone has read Tabitha Brown's book, she does say that it took her almost 20 years. Okay. We get stuck on this time, and it's not on our time. I'm just going to say, I'm going to put it out there. Whether you believe it or not, it's not on our time. And a lot of the things that we go through really does kind of, it helps us in our journey to what we're supposed to be doing. And this is hold on. I'm going to go somewhere with this. Look, I always say, recognize your why, but through life, we understand that sometimes the why might change.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
And for me, I've been doing this for about 15 years. 15 years of sharing my story. 15 years of having workshops and conferences and connecting with women. 15 years. Okay. And before I started that, of course, I have a 20-year career as an HR consultant. So I partner with major corporations like Bank of America and Qualcomm. And I come in, I merge with their HR department, and we revitalize it, right? So at one point, you may think that's your purpose because you like it. You enjoy what you do. So, and all of a sudden you may have a hobby or something that you pick up. You say, oh, is this the one that's going to get me off of the 9 to 5? Because we're always thinking about, and not saying that everybody is not meant to be an entrepreneur. If you're going to work that 9 to 5, work that one 9 to 5. Ain't nothing wrong with that. However, I started doing event decorating. So I paid all this money for a coach that was absolutely fabulous out of Atlanta. And honey, when it comes to decorating, honey, I can do my thing. I love it. I absolutely enjoyed it. But I knew that talent, God was sitting me down in that moment so that I can perfect my purpose, which is
Oh
speaking
my
and
God.
connecting. So never be
Mhm,
afraid. And I say, you may have multiple talents. I want
mhm.
you to work all of those talents simultaneously, because your purpose, your one and true purpose is going to supersede any other gift that you have.
Yes,
Yeah, work them,
yes.
work them. I mean, when it comes to, I can do hair, I can do a lot of things. I can do a lot of things with my hands, but that wasn't my purpose. And a lot of people will
Right.
see you and say, "Oh my God, I don't know why you didn't go into decorating." Da da da. That's not where God called me to be.
Right, right. So you know what's so funny about what you're saying, and it's not really funny, but I'm the same way. I have all these different talents, and I love video editing. For just to give an example, I didn't even know I liked video editing until maybe a year and a half ago. But I love doing video editing. I love creating reels. I love creating content, but that's
Mhm.
not my job. You know, and people will say to me, "Man, Tammy, you should be doing this. You're so good at it." I'm like, "Yeah, but if I do this as a business, it's going to take away from my purpose." And maybe it's that I need to understand how the stuff works because it's going to be part of the business, but it's not
Business.
going to be my main mission. It is
Right.
not my mission that God gave me that I need to edit videos, okay?
Videos. I
But I
get it.
know how to do it. If I can't find anybody to do it, guess what? I can do it. If I
Mhm.
want to collaborate with somebody, guess what? I know how to do that part of the collaboration.
Right.
So I definitely agree that we are exposed to different aspects of our talents so that we can tap into them, but not necessarily that's going to be your mission or your purpose. It has
Right.
helped to get you to that next level.
Yeah. Yeah. That is so
Yeah.
true. I of course, with me, how I happened to come about the podcast, and of course I am now one of those ones that scream, if you have a business, I think it's good to have a podcast if you can do it.
Mhm.
I know people are popping up podcasts all over the place. They don't understand how intensive it could be.
Right.
It's a lot. It is very intense when it comes to everything behind the scenes, especially if you're wanting a quality show. I had been doing this. I was doing other things and author and stuff like that. So my friend was like, you should have a show. And I said, when do I have time? Please tell me. Because of course I was in corporate. I'm 100% independent now. 100%.
Oh, congratulations. Congratulations.
Thank you. But up until that time, I'm still traveling with work. I'm doing 60-hour weeks. It was bananas. I was like, sis, please, let's carve out the time because I don't see it. And so something told me, go ahead and take a chance because I'm using my voice anyway.
Mhm.
I believe that this is part of the kind of development that we're looking for, and what we're trying to, especially if you're a speaker, especially if you want to connect to audiences. There's a work with anything that you do. You need to be studying your craft.
Right.
You need to be studying your craft. I
Right.
can't say that anymore. You have to keep continue your education going when it comes to whatever you're doing, so you stay up to par with your messaging, up to par where how you deliver, how people receive you, and
Mhm.
all. So it's been good. That's how I got on in this space. I didn't want no podcast. I didn't want to be in front of y'all faces. I really didn't. I really,
But we want to see you and we want to hear you. So,
just
God said you had to do it. So you here out here doing it. And I'm the
right.
same way. I never knew I was going to have a podcast, but based on what I do, I like to lift others up like leaderships, and I want their voices to be heard.
Right.
I can't change the world by myself.
Right,
I
right.
can't deliver the message by myself. So that whole thing with collaborating, working with other ladies, and just building something that will help others get on their right path.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yeah.
But before we go, one thing I want to ask you is to drop us a tip on what is visionary mapping to transform your actions into reality. What is a tip that you can give them to help them transform their goals into reality?
I tell people we have to not only go inward. I often tell people we got to analyze what's around us.
Yeah.
What kind of garbage you got near you? What kind of what kind of weight do you have on you? A lot of times we can't think straight about our purpose, our life, even our money sometimes, because we in toxic situations. Maybe the home, maybe you are lying to somebody who is a hater because you're soaring. Maybe you taking on too much responsibility of other people, and you're trying to fix them. I always tell people, if you want to obtain some things, there are steps. And number one, I want you to analyze your surroundings. I know sometimes we can't shove Boo Bear out the door.
I don't know. I might got a tip for that one.
You say, I'm not ready to let him go. Okay, not right now. But sometimes, if it's really bad, some things won't manifest in your life because you're connected to people that ain't supposed to go where you're going.
Can I just say amen on that one?
So analyze your surroundings. Make sure that you're creating a peaceful place so that you can think and have clarity on where you're going. Then I want you to sit in a space and sit down with yourself and have the honest talk. So we're going to get rid of some folk or clean up our house. We're going to also sit down and start speaking to ourselves. What changes do I need to make with me? What boundaries have I not set for others? How am I not healing in certain ways? How do I speak to people? Am I really a good person? We really have to think about some things that we need to change. That's the hardest thing, to look in the mirror and say, oh my God, my inside is a little nasty. I have been bitter because that happened. I had started to push away. You may have started to push away people because you went through a certain something. But when you're back on track and you're on a mission to heal, then you need to think about, how are you loving yourself? How do you view you? So once we clean up the garbage, the mess around us, and we think inside and we check ourselves and say, you know what, you the issue. Say
That's the issue, because they're not addressing their issue, right? Oh my God. It is, I don't want to be hard on anyone, but that is one of the hardest things, is to look within, because we always want to look outside for the
we
solution.
want to blame everybody else. Everybody else.
And the solution is not outside of us. The solution is inside.
It really is.
So I hope y'all took some notes and wrote those things down, because that is the honest God truth.
Then I want them to write down and make a plan. I want not make before you get to that. I want you to write down and tell me your vision. Write down so you can see your visions, your aspirations. How does my job look like? How does my finances look like? How does health? How does my marriage? I was given a road map that was given to me, so that we go over this roadmap and hit all of those key areas in our life. And you're going to say, this is what I look like. This is what I'm going to obtain in 2025. This is how many savings, how I'm going to start here. You at least write them down and make them realistic, and be okay with them changing. Be okay with your visions changing, because life changes. And once you say, this is the life that I did, this globe, this globe is holding all of my aspirations that could be mine if I just become dedicated and consistent
Mm-hmm.
in what I know is achievable. Then you make a plan. How are you gonna get that new truck? Comes with
Uh-huh.
planning. How you gonna get the new house? Comes with planning. And
Mhm.
all of those, not only are you going to make checkpoints throughout the year, because just like our kids get a report card, to be doing the same thing. So I don't care if you need to put a reminder in here for the next 12 months. And on the third or for the first or the last day of the month, I should say, the last day of the month should be the what did I check off? Where did I fall behind? So that you can pick up on the things that you fell short in this month so that you can win it the next month.
There you
That's
go.
what you do. That's what you have to have self accountability. And a lot of times we don't stay still. We don't get off the phone long enough, off the internet long enough. We don't put in the extra work. We don't wake up 2 hours earlier. A lot of times we want things, but we don't want to put in the work in order to achieve them.
Right, girl, you ain't speaking nothing but the truth. But I hope y'all got those 4 tips. She said, what? Look within. Tip number 1. Tip number 2, write it out. Tip number 3, make a plan. And she gave you 4 tips. The 4th tip is to report into yourself. Oh my God. Make sure y'all write them down. Oh my, thank you so much for sharing those tips, sharing your wisdom, sharing your knowledge, sharing your energy. You have such a beautiful energy and you can feel, I can feel the authenticity in you. I can feel how you really truly are in your space. You
Yeah.
are here to do what you do and uplift other women to do what they do. So, with that, I want you to tell people how to find you. And if you have any special offers, you may share those also.
Yes. You can find me on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube at Hello Audacity Podcast. For my personal page, you can simply look me up on Facebook at LaSha Marie Speaks. And of course, this is the beginning of the year. You want to live a different life. You says 2024 was the last year. This is the time for you to chart it out, and you can begin by jumping into one of my classes, and you can find me online. Hit me up. I'll send you the information at LaSha Marie Speaks. My website. I'm a new year. I'm not doing that new year, new me stuff. I am construction in my my website, but I can't wait to get that up. But trust me, the vision class, whether it's I don't care who you go with. However, you need to jump in one and hold yourself accountable to your life mapping because you deserve everything that your heart and hands can hold. But you also have a gift in you that I don't want you to sleep on. I could possibly need the gift that you have and you
Mm,
hold it back.
mm, mm, mm.
We all want to live out this world, out our lives and say, you know what? I did something impactful. I'm proud of myself because I was able to, facilitate a need that somebody may have had. Um,
Mhm.
and you do you do that. But yes, those are the places to reach me.
Yes, I love it. I love it. Thank you so much for coming on and sharing this time with me.
No problem. I'm hoping to be back so we can discuss another uh, topic and we can get all the ladies and the men
All
together.
right. I'm down. I'm down. I'm down. You know, we just gonna bounce back back and forth from Wave to LaSha Speaks. There we go.
Yes. Yes.
Yes. All right. So thank you so much for tuning in. I hope you found value in this. Drop some comments. We'll check in with you, answer your questions. And until next time, stay out there, take action, and make some waves in your life. Thank you so much.
Visionary queens and the bosses, no glasses. TammyRenee microphone, fire she embraces. Stories reshape, no trace.